Listen, Tyler, I really do appreciate your concern about how I have too many video games to play and I might not be able to handle them all.
What? Steven, I'm concerned because you're still depending on your back catalog of videos. You haven't actually made a video since your Blip account was closed.
But I have 29 games that I haven't beaten yet. If I'm going to get to play any of the new games that are coming my way eventually, I gotta get down to business. It's time for me to prioritize.
Has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Steven, you have college!
Tyler, I'm gonna have to call you back.
Steven, get off your ass!
God! Hello everybody, this is Detective Steve and I'm coming at you talking about Star Wars today. First, I'm going to touch on the news that broke months ago, but I was just really happy to hear. 1. Most of the original cast of Star Wars is in Star Wars Episode 7, which is really awesome. I made in a previous vlog, I said I had warmed up to the idea of the original cast making a comeback, and now that I know it's confirmed, I can't wait to see it in the new movie. I'm planning to go to a midnight screening of this movie when it's released, so I imagine that the theater is gonna be like, "Whoa!" every time one of those characters appears. There are a couple other returning players in the Star Wars business. Sound designer Ben Burtt is still working on the Star Wars movies, which I think is great. I think he's done a great job with the other 6 Star Wars movies so far. Lawrence Kasdan, who co-wrote Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, is co-writing the script along with J.J. Abrams for Episode 7, so I'm feeling pretty good about that as well. And last but not least, John Williams is returning to compose the score. It's no mystery to anyone that the Star Wars prequels got a lot of flack, but the one thing that remained consistently super awesome was John Williams' music to it. To this day, Star Wars music still gives me chills, and I really hope that when the time does come for John Williams to pass on into the next netherworld or become one with the Force, if you want to say it that way, that there will be someone out there who can continue the legacy of Star Wars that he started. This next bit of news I'll touch on very briefly because I don't want to give too much away. The new television show, Star Wars Rebels. For those who don't know, Star Wars Rebels takes place 5 years before Star Wars A New Hope. It is created by the same people who made the Clone Wars, and I think they're doing a great job with it so far, and I think you should watch it. Nothing more needs to be said. It's a good show, guys. Trust me. Now making our way back to Star Wars Episode 7. They announced the title not too long ago, the beginning of November, I believe, when they completed principal photography on it. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Now I will say, I'm a fan of some of the jokes the internet has come up with in response to that title. Episode 8, The Force Has Breakfast. Episode 9, The Force Goes to Work. Mark Hamill even threw his own joke into the ring and said, The Force Awakens in a farmhouse in Kansas, only to discover that the whole thing was a dream. Bravo, Mark. Bravo. I don't really have any problems with it. I don't particularly love it, but then again, some of the other movies I didn't really take much of a shine to the title, and the only reasons they feel so awesome whenever we mention them is because we remember how awesome the movie is. If any other movie came out with the title Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith, without the Star Wars reputation attached to it, it would not be quite as well received by the general public. The way I see it, Star Wars was always intended as kind of an homage to the 1940s space adventure serials like Flash Gordon and whatnot. The titles there were always really cheesy, and furthermore, Star Wars came out in a time where cinema had become a very cynical medium of expression, and a lot of movies that came out were a lot grittier and, as I said, cynical. When Star Wars came out, it kind of took people back to the joy and fun of going to the movies, the lighthearted hero, villain, good versus evil adventure story. That is the kind of title that The Force Awakens feels like. What does it mean for the movie? Well, we can only speculate, but at least now we have something to speculate about. That's right, people. Now I'm going to talk about my impressions of the teaser trailer. First of all, damn you, Star Wars, for being so tantalizing. I spent the entire day at work the Friday after Thanksgiving thinking, the trailer's out. I could watch it at any time. And it just seemed to burn inside me, and I couldn't wait. So I called up a bunch of my friends, and I'm like, okay, guys, I gotta watch this trailer. I can't wait, but I also can't do it alone. Since then, I've seen the trailer probably at least 20 or 30 times, not including parodies. And if the fact that I've seen it that many times is not indication enough, I'll just say it. I am excited. Now let's start with the controversy, which I use very loosely because I think it's stupid that this is a controversy at all. It starts off with,
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
wasn't that impression wonderful? And then John Boyega pops up and he's dressed in a stormtrooper outfit. And then the internet explodes. It's like, why is a stormtrooper black? I thought they were all clones, blah, 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 blah. The fact is established that stormtroopers have been regular guys for quite some time. The clones served their purpose when they executed Order 66 and killed most of the Jedi in the galaxy. As the movies state, cloning is a pretty expensive process. So for the Emperor to use the clones for Order 66 and then just go to, hey, I have this big empire, I can just draft people from all these different planets. You know, that makes a lot of sense economically. So there is no reason in Star Wars why a stormtrooper couldn't be black. There's also, of course, the theory that Boyega is not playing a stormtrooper at all, he's just playing someone who is disguising himself as a stormtrooper. Maybe that could be the case, but I don't know. It's a teaser trailer, it doesn't tell me anything, and that's just the way I like it. Moving on to the second controversy, which I think is a little more palpable. The new villain and his crossguard lightsaber. Now this has been explained to death by many people, so I will try and keep it short. Argument 1. You could slide your hand up the hilt and hit the blades that are coming out the side, and you could cut into your hand. They have these little protrusions out on the side of the blade, so that's not true. If someone could cut through the emitter on the side, then they could just cut down the shaft, damage your lightsaber, and even your hand. I refer you to Stephen Colbert. While he may be a comedian, his explanation does have pretty good basis in theoretical science. What I really need is to see the movie a year from now and see how this new lightsaber is handled by its owner, because that's really where everything depends, is how a weapon is used. And the last thing I'll talk about in general is the aesthetic of this trailer. First of all, Lucasfilm has been constantly emphasizing with this new movie, we're going back to basics, back to our roots. We want to make this feel a lot like the original trilogy. We're using real locations, real sets, things the actors can interact with, and we're shooting it on film even. A lot of people say that artistically the prequels suffered because everything looked too fake, too CGI, and I will admit that I thought some of these environments looked pretty good, and I always wondered from these people, okay, but how exactly would it look if it wasn't like that? If they balanced CGI and practical effects and real locations and all that kind of stuff, what would that look like in a modern Star Wars movie? This trailer answers that question for me, and they look really nice. This is a really nice looking movie. You know, a lot of this had to be done with CG the way movies work nowadays, but just so much of it looks fantastic that you know that it was done with a lot more care and balancing and fine-tuning to make it look absolutely perfect. It looks really nice, and I think they're doing Star Wars justice by making it look that way. Well, those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm off to get myself a new pair of sunglasses. With his schedule now free from the clutches of college, Detective Steve's return to making videos was complete, and his brand new Nintendo Wii U gathered dust until the end of its days. Nah, I'm just kidding. The Wii U is actually really awesome.